Let me introduce you Dr. Reema Pandya. She's a consultant pediatrician based out of Ahmedabad. She believes in prevention is better than cure. And that is exactly how she lets new parents navigate true parenthood with a balanced approach between culture and science. Thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Reema.
Thanks a lot, Deepika. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, at Nmamilife, we've been fielding a lot of questions from parents on nutrition and how to deal with children's nutrition. So we thought on this Children's Day, let us get us on board one doctor who knows it best.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
So, Dr. Reema, whenever we have patients or, people coming to consult with us, most of them are new mothers or new parents, and they are very concerned about few things. So, can we just take a few of the commonly asked questions with you?
For sure. For sure.
So, we made a list of the most asked questions, and every parent has at some point of the time asked us, milk or not milk? Should we give our child milk or should we not give our child milk? What is it? What is your take on milk?
So, see, if the kids are less than a year old, milk is very important. But as they grow older, milk has almost zero significance apart from the basic calcium, everything which everyone knows, right? Which now there are plenty of sources. Now, milk, why, when our parents are obsessed as a generation with milk, they want people to have more milk. But why the sudden thought process of reducing milk? Because milk is like a double-edged sword. So the perfect amount of milk, if taken properly, does not cause any problems and gives us a lot of benefits, which is roughly after the first birthday about 300 ml, which is about 10 ounce per day. Usse zyada milk has a lot of side effects like constipation, not like iron deficiency and multiple things. But after the but again, which milk is very important. So there is parents ask me buffalo milk, cow milk,
Oat milk,
which one is
camel
better?
milk.
Yes, now camel milk. So broadly speaking, if you are taking 300 ml a day, cow ka milk le rahe ho ki buffalo ka milk le rahe ho doesn't matter, but your source from which company it comes is important. All these commercialized companies are having a lot of processed milk in a simple way that the population is increasing, the cattle are decreasing. So they have found ways how to manipulate the entire thing. Right. So if you have some gaushala nearby, wherein you know that person who's eating well, making their cattle eat well,
but the cattle is
in a good condition. They are not Jersey cows like the abroad cows. There's in Gujarat there is a big trend of desi Gir cow, right? So which are your red cows or lal gai as people tell. So that is extremely important that milk, when taken from a nearby gaushala who has a few 10, 15 families to cater to, and he's happy. He's not kind in the commercial
he's not
zone.
commercial.
Yeah, so even if he's charging you 80 rupees per liter, which normally the commercial milk comes to be 50 rupees per liter, it's okay. Because then you are sure of the quality. You're sure the cattle is feeding good food. Because cattle bhi jo khati hai, usi se uska doodh banta hai.
Right.
So, when parents ask me that आयरन डेफिशिएंसी बफेलो मिल्क में ज्यादा होती है, काउ मिल्क में ज्यादा होती है, आई एम लाइक वो मेरे दूध लाइक मैं ब्रेस्ट मिल्क मेरा ज्यादा आयरन होगा, कम आयरन होगा कंपेयर टू अदर मिल्क, अदर लेडी. So it's the same concept. The cattle should eat good. Then only you can know the milk from it. So again, quantity less than 300 ml. And secondly, the source of milk, which is very important.
So if not milk, then sources of calcium, like quick sources of calcium.
Multiple. Na? If the child doesn't eat milk, you can give paneer, you can give dahi, you can give chas, you can give so many things. You can give malai, makhan. Also, if you are kind of vegan, towards vegan, you can use a lot of ragi in your diet.
Like we do for adults, ragi and sesame.
Yes. Yes, so many kids don't even like paneer or don't like dahi.
Yeah.
You can add ragi in your daily flour.
Okay. So, ma'am, moving on to the next question. Another major concern with parents are that their child is overweight, but they are very active. So, should they be concerned, like a 5-year-old or a 7-year-old child is overweight, but they are very active? Should they be concerned about it? Is child's weight
Again,
an issue?
see, let's take even overweight and underweight, but with active. Okay. So, if your child is growing well, if your child doesn't have a habit of junk eating, like a lot of junk, you know, when I say junk, parents say, no, we eat only once a week outside. Okay, so that is not junk. But then every day, your biscuits, your cakes, your
Chips.
yes, so that is also junk. So if the child, when parents talk about junk food, they only think about what bahar milta hai, but not at home. Okay, so firstly is your junk intake kitna hai. Second is that how is the genes of the baby, like genetically. See, genetically big babies are there. Who is eating very healthy? You know, chapati, dal, sab khate hain. There's no junk, no biscuits, desserts. हम पूछते तो कि dessert तो उसको अच्छा ही नहीं लगता है. But still, the child who has to be around 18 or 20 kgs is about 21 or 22 kgs. Then those are constitutionally big babies. So what you have to do is you have to kind of abhi se maintain between the activity and the intake, because they can become huge when puberty hits. Okay.
So saying puberty se pehle, you have to really care about the diet.
Yes, because till 5 years old, your child is in control of you. You know, you can monitor the diet, you can monitor the activity, you can do everything. But what happens when 5 years hit? They start with schools, they start with activity classes. No matter what, वो सुनेंगे ही नहीं. आप if you take the biscuit packet away, they are adults. I believe they have very strong willpower. Right?
Yeah.
So whatever you can mold the child up to 5 years, between 5 to 10, equally important. You can't expect the child to eat well if you are eating junk at home. So it starts from yes, it starts from the parents. If you are bringing Maggie at home, I have parents who say कि पण उसको तो वीक में 3 times तो मैगी चाहिए ही, तो वो थोड़ी कमाने जाता है यार. मैगी कौन लाता है घर में? You only bring, right? So it's kind of a mix of all. So overweight, underweight, you forget it. But if the child is active, the child is eating well, growing well, in your growth chart, if you are asking your pediatrician, the pediatrician says, हाँ, overweight है, obese नहीं है. But that is due to genes, and junk food नहीं खा रहा है, then you don't worry about that weight. Similarly, for an underweight child, the child eats everything. The child even eats junk, but the child is underweight. Again, for them also, keep a track, because underweight kids can become overweight when obesity hits during your pubertal age group. Right.
So you are saying puberty से पहले जितना manage करना है obesity से बचने के लिए करना.
Yes, because once see, appetite is something like जितना बढ़ाओ उतना बढ़ेगा, जितना कम करो उतना कम करेगा. Okay. So why do the people from the street don't feel hunger? The kids don't feel hunger because they've been deprived for so long that is their appetite.
Right.
It's the same way which we also need to be aware of, that okay, इतना मतलब इतना ही होना चाहिए. Like I remember Diwali के time पे kids eating 5 Kaju Katlis a day. So then they come for cough cold. Of course they will know.
Very
so true. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. So moving on, I mean, because we are on the topic of child nutrition. So what do you think? Do nutrition and good food define the height? मतलब बच्चों की height कुछ खाने से पीने से होता है कि खाली जेनेटिक होता है?
Of course, see वो जो ads में आता है commercially available उसमें नहीं होता है.
Like DHA
Okay.
and all those supplements they claim.
Yeah, so it is okay. Yeah, so see, I'm not against energy drinks at all. I feel that okay, itna milk or itna energy drink is okay for the flavor. Okay, because that's not the sole reason why a child will grow tall.
Right.
Okay, what problem arises when the milk is this much and the
malt is that much.
Or without milk also people are consuming it as a dessert. That is where it goes wrong.
So what do you think is necessary for height?
Yeah, so for height, two things are extremely important. One is your genes. There is something known as a mid-parental height. So you go and ask your pediatrician. Your pediatrician can calculate it for you. That roughly your child will be how tall. That is somewhere, there is a formula for it. It's called a mid-parental height. Okay. Second important is your nutrition. Because height is a chronic disease marker. Okay. So weight is your acute disease marker. So you remember, you would know like cough cold hota hai, the child will lose 500 grams. That is your acute marker. Your height is your chronic marker. Over the past 2-3 years, if the nutrition has been bad, the height will be compromised.
Okay. So the child will stop growing if they do not have a good nutrition.
Yes. So both are important. Your genes, but of course your genes can be propped up with good nutrition. And secondly, good activities like stretching mainly, which involves basketball, swimming, things like that. So both are equally important. Nutrition does play an important role.
So like what in nutrition, calcium, etc. again?
Yes, calcium. Calcium is important for stronger bones. So of course, height ke liye it is important, but stronger bones, then your protein intake, your vitamin D levels, they are very important for height and weight. So because also vitamin D deficiency, iron deficiency can cause loss of appetite. So if your child eats less, it can be due to a deficiency. So that is a marker. Yeah.
Like ma'am, we were discussing about diseases, etc. So जब cough and cold and ये slight ailments होते हैं, so a lot of parents tend to get very confused. दादी माँ ये बता रही है घर के नुस्खे दो, काढ़ा, हल्दी वाला दूध, and doctor बोल रहा है कि नहीं आप cough syrup दो. So what do you think? Does work?
You can do both, no? Why either or? There's no reason to go for either or. See, majority, 80% of illnesses less than 5-year-old is viral. Viral diseases are self-limiting. 5 to 7 days rahega, then they get better. Okay. Problem arises when they have fever, they have breathing difficulty, they are not eating at all, which can cause dehydration. These are the danger signs. All right. So even your doctor, your decongestant likha, cough syrup likha, these are symptomatic relief. Okay. They are not cure. Okay. So we say that okay, 3 times a day for 3 days. You give this. तो क्या होगा? Runny nose कम होगा. Okay, coughing कम होगा. तो उससे क्या होगा? बच्चा सोएगा, rest मिलेगा. He will recover. The child can eat, so he will recover. Okay. So this is not. It's generally less than 5 is viral, but then parents less than 5 are very scared.
Anxious.
You know,
they're new parents. They don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah, so I believe that okay, runny nose aa raha, you want to give tulsi water, adusi water, you give it. Okay, but also give syrups. Okay. So it has to be a mix of both. If you feel that 3 times a day doctor ने लिखा है पर मेरे से 2 times ही manage हो रहा है क्योंकि nap time है or whatever, because very young kids, you ask the doctor, can I give it twice a day only instead of 3? No doctor will tell you no, because these are symptomatic reliefs. Okay, so problem arises when what happens is that I write 5 ml 3 times a day, they end up giving 2 ml 3 times a day. ऐसा नहीं करना है. Whatever change also you want to do with the dose or the duration, you ask your doctor that okay, मुझे ये सेट नहीं हो रहा है, मैं 2 बार दूं तो कितना दूं, ज्यादा देना पड़ेगा या उतने में ही चल जाएगा. So the doctor depending on the medicine will tell you हाँ it's okay, ज्यादा नहीं है तो give 2 times.
मतलब you don't have to be a doctor, you have to trust the doctor.
You
But
have to trust the doctor.
does
Huh?
Kada work?
See, again, there is no scientific evidence, but it does not cause any nukshan. Okay, so the risk and the benefit अगर आप देखो, जैसे मुझे अगर पूछेंगे कि 6 महीने का बच्चा है, we want to give honey and turmeric or maybe 4 months. Okay, I will say no. Okay, same question at 6 months, I will say no. Because honey you can't give till 1 year. Okay, same question at 14 months, I'll say yes, try.
Right, what works.
Yeah, because see, till before 6 months you can't give anything. Right. Apart from nasal drops, even doctors don't write a lot of medicines. Okay, between 6 to 12 months, because the child is eating a bit from outside, you can give haldi, you can give maybe tulsi ka pani also you can give between 6 to 12 months. But honey is a no till 1 year. So whatever decision you are taking, you can जैसे नाच देते हैं, steam inhalation देते हैं. So COVID के time पे a lot of kids, parents used to ask. But then, what happened was that like 1 or 2 bachas came with boiled water spill on their legs. So see, whatever it is, use common sense.
Right.
If the child is very fidgety, it's okay if you don't give steam inhalation. What you can do is you can, maybe switch on the geyser with some hot water, close the bathroom, and then make a steam room and give steam. Right. Okay, so steam inhalation, your head elevation, use a pillow at night because head elevate रहता है तो cough cold देख रात को trouble कम करता है. You bath the child daily. Parents believe that you can't bath a child when the child is sick. Okay, you give haldi, whatever, as I spoke, according to the age group. You give tulsi water, but also if you're going to the doctor, you ask the doctor that अगर इसकी जगह पे हम ये करें या twice a day दे, या मे बी बहुत नहीं है, सिर्फ रात को ज्यादा रनी नोज होता है तो हम सिर्फ रात को दे. Because all that, generally speaking, viral illness, diseases, drugs are symptomatic. So that's okay.
So ma'am, आप जैसे बोल रहे हो, so there is again a lot of wild tales about what a new mother should eat and what a new mother shouldn't eat, or what causes colic in kids. So I mean, what is your take on it? What should be the ideally things that a new mother should avoid, A, while breastfeeding, and secondly, what are the foods should she start introducing her colicky child?
Okay, so firstly, the diet of the mother plays a very small role in colic babies. Okay, if it is persistent, like with blood and stool, and typical colic not responding to other medicines, typical gastric discomfort, maybe you can go for an exclusion diet with the help of your pediatrician. But apart from that, if your child is active, alert, and not really itna kuch zyada nahi hai apart from a few hours of crankiness twice or thrice a week, then you shouldn't go for an exclusion diet. Generally क्या बोलते हैं कि mother should stop dairy, mother should stop pulses, but again it's a very one-on-one conversation which you need to have with your parents, with the parents. Also, a lot of food helps in encouraging the breastfeeding. So like suwa, methi, coconut, jaggery, almonds, other dry fruits. A well-balanced meal is the best approach to a postpartum diet. Similarly, आइसक्रीम वगैरह खाते सोचते हैं कि हमें सर्दी होगी तो फिर बच्चे को सर्दी होगी. So that's also okay once in a while. I'm not against anything like that. You can have, like, I also get questions like maida, bahar ka naan, bahar ka tikka, paneer tikka. But basically anything which will cause a lot of discomfort to you can ultimately in a way cause discomfort to the child. But not really. So if it is not very severe, the mother doesn't need to go for an
One
exclusion diet.
exclusion. And what is the food should she start introducing to her colicky baby, like 6 months?
No, you can't introduce
नहीं, जब
food
6
to the
months के
colic
बाद हम
baby.
खाना देते हैं तो क्या चीज
But
से?
colic goes away. Colic goes away by 3 months.
Okay, so there is no worries. You can, matlab,
No
after
worries.
once you start feeding your child, you can start feeding your child very normally.
Yeah, like 6 months, your colic goes away by 3 to 4 months max. So then you have to forget that the child was colic.
Okay.
You can give all food.
So like abhi ka jo times hai, there are so many of diseases, and post COVID everybody fears diseases. इतने vaccinations hai, इतने सब कुछ hai. So what are the vaccinations that you stress on? कि भाई this you have to give your child this. If you are so fearing vaccination, you may not give. But ये तो आपको देना ही है. What are the vaccinations that you definitely
So
suggest?
see, my belief is prevention is better than cure. That's how I practice. There is no better invention than a vaccine. So I'll tell you why this, parents tell me कि ये तो optional में है, ये टाइफाइड का optional में है वैक्सीन, तो आप क्यों स्ट्रेस दे रहे हो देने को? टाइफाइड वैक्सीन, it's 1 dose, protects 90%. Okay, एक बारी अगर बच्चे को टाइफाइड हो गया, we are a generation in which we or our friends have got typhoid. If you remember, you would also remember someone has got typhoid. Now just think, क्या हुआ था तब? 7 days एडमिट करना पड़ा था, 1 महीना गेहूं नहीं खाने दिया था. You or whoever would have suffered would have lost 2-3 kgs, so, and plus the economic stress. Like one admission can cost you anywhere between 30,000 to 70,000, depending on the number of days you are staying.
Very true.
Okay, and what's the cost of a typhoid vaccine? It's 2,000 rupees.
So like जैसे पेरेंट्स बोलते हैं ना कि वैक्सीन लिया उसके बाद भी मलेरिया हो गया, ये हो गया.
मलेरिया का तो वैक्सीन ही नहीं है.
I'm just
so
giving
these are all myths. हाँ, so मलेरिया, डेंगू, ये सब तो वैक्सीन ही नहीं है. They are not vaccines available. So basically, I'll tell you how does it work. There are 2 sets of vaccine. One is your IAP schedule, which the government follows. IAP, Universal Immunization Program, which is called the UIP. Okay, which gives all vaccines free of cost to all kids across India. Okay, उसमें है डीपीटी का वैक्सीन है, हिब है, हेपेटाइटिस बी है, पोलियो है, बीसीजी है, ट्यूबरकुलोसिस का जो बीसीजी का वैक्सीन है, उसमें मीजल्स का वैक्सीन है, और उसमें बूस्टर है इस सब का. ठीक है, अभी उसमें चिकन पॉक्स नहीं है, टाइफाइड नहीं है, फ्लू वैक्सीन नहीं है, मम्स रूबेला वाला नहीं है, न्यूमोनिया का नहीं है, न्यूमोकोकल वैक्सीन नहीं है, मेनिंगोकोकल वैक्सीन नहीं है, ये सारा नहीं है उसमें. Once how does it differ is that UIP means Universal Immunization Program. So those vaccines the government has to give free of cost to all Indian kids. Okay, so India has a budget, right? It cannot give all vaccines. तो वो देखते हैं कि डीपीटी और पोलियो वगैरह में ज्यादा सीरियस इलनेस होता है, बच्चे मर भी सकते हैं, तो हम ये फ्री कर देते हैं. टाइफाइड में, मम्स में, चिकन पॉक्स में बच्चे मरते नहीं है, तो ये हम फ्री नहीं देते. ये उनको लगवाना है तो प्राइवेट में लगवाएंगे. ओके,
तो इसीलिए वैसे ऑप्शनल हो जाते हैं, बट वो रियली ऑप्शनल होते नहीं है.
It's not optional because once mumps or once typhoid or for that matter even chicken pox में admit नहीं करता पड़ता है, but 10 days of constant itching,
it's a pain.
And it's again 2,000 rupees.
हाँ,
So
मतलब
I
cost
believe,
benefit analysis ही कर लो.
yes, and there are no side effects. See, if there were side effects, then even a pediatrician won't advise you, because then again the risk benefit ratio goes up and down. Okay. So, but this is why your vaccination is extremely important.
So, ma'am, one very important question that a lot, I mean, literally a lot of parents have is that should I introduce sugar to my child? Should I not introduce sugar to my child? When should I introduce sugar to my child?
So, sugar को बोलते हैं white zehar. Okay. It is for us also. We as a generation have had tons of sugars, I
We
believe,
all have.
and I strongly feel that maybe the rise of obesity, diabetes, so many metabolic disorders, secondary lifestyle disorders, one of the prime suspect is sugar. But then again, when I go at my child's level, you know, so I believe sugar gave me so much of pleasure as a child that I shouldn't rob my son or my daughter out of it. So firstly, I want to put it out that sugar ka replacement is not jaggery. Sugar ka replacement is not honey, because those are not healthy versions of sugar. What you need to curb is the amount of overall sugar in your life.
The dessert, the sweet things that you have.
Yes. So maybe after the first birthday is the time wherein you can start introducing little bit of white sugar, maybe as a dessert or maybe as something. Because you know, when you curb a child too much, then the child is bound to go to birthday parties once he's a bit older. The child would go to school. So child shouldn't be thinking that any food item is on a pedestal.
Right.
No food item is ये तो भगवान है, इसको तो टच ही नहीं करना है, या ये तो हैवान है, इसको तो टच ही नहीं करना है. Right? So that healthy association has to be there. You need to teach your child how much to eat, not what to eat.
So like those parents that say that my child is a picky eater, वो इसके बिना तो खाना खाएगा ही नहीं. What should they do then?
That begins right at 3 or 4 months, because then you know that time sensory stimulation, your so many things like that helps in a child become. That's a completely different thought process. But for sugar, what I mean is that don't add sugar in everything. Like आप वो रोटी नहीं खा रहा है तो रोटी के ऊपर शुगर डाल के खिला दी, you know, because that is very wrong. So, but maybe once in a while you eat dessert as a family. You cut down on extra sugar, which is coming in biscuits, processed food, things like that. You don't put any food item on a pedestal. Like nothing is a no, nothing is a yes, but maybe you teach moderation.
Teach your child moderation.
Yes, ये इतना ही खाना है, you know. So that has to be strongly done, because overall sugar can cause a lot of health issues, and recently it's even shown that it messes your brain. Okay, your concentrating capacity, your memory, etc. Everything gets hampered. So sugar is a devil in our. It is very much present. You need to tackle how to eat and how much
you have to live with it. So you know, you have to know how to live with it.
Exactly. And you need to teach your children that. Coming to picky eating is a term which again I don't really like much, because it kind of has that negative adjective associated with a child. It kind of begins at 3 months, wherein your sensory stimulation is a primary focus you need to do. I have a post on early childhood stimulation, sensory stimulation. Maybe parents can see that how to make a child aware of different senses. That plays a very important role in food. Secondly, correct time to introduce. Like if I have parents who want to introduce at 4 months, then their child becomes picky eater. Someone जिसको मैं बोलती हूँ 6 महीने पे खिलाओ खिलाओ खिलाओ, but they don't make him or her eat. Then they panic at 8-9 months that my child is not eating anything.
Right. So there's a
So
time.
timing is very essential. Between 5.5, 5 to 6 months, I believe it might be, again, it is very customized. Like if you're on breastfeeding alone, then maybe after 6 months. But if you are already giving formula and the child is growing well, showing signs of readiness, maybe after a consult, I would be okay of initiating solids at 5 months for a formula fed baby.
Right.
So all these also step-by-step process need a proper, you take proper consults. Like it is very difficult at 14 months to cure picky eating. If
Right.
you visit a proper pediatrician or a nutritionist right at about 5 or 6 months, it is way easier. So again, prevention is better than cure.
Better than cure.
So,
That I mean, after our discussion, entire discussion, it just seems how right your motto is that prevention is actually better than cure.
yes, because then it takes twice the pain for the parents also and for us also. So better to start soon.
Ma'am, you've been fantastic. You've really helped us with all the answers and you've given us your valuable time. I am sure there'd be many parents out there who'd be like, chalo, kuch to sort hua life mein. Because as you are a pediatrician and a parent guide. So you know parents are so worried with their newborns and young children. Especially aaj ke time pe where parents are living alone, working alone.
Yes.
So they're even more stressed. I mean, am I doing it wrong? That guilt factor is always there.
That's true. And also information overload.
Information.
So there is everyone has a voice. So there you get to learn a lot, but then you don't know whom to believe. So
Exactly. So this is taking us back to our first question of milk. There's so much of information overload parents didn't know. But coming from such a dedicated and informative voice like you, we really thank you for helping parents understand and navigate through this problem. I hope you had a great session with us.
Lovely talking as always. Thank you, Deepika.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye.